LifePoint students and parents, Jim Thomas here. We're actually here doing another one of our summer devotional series, Faith as Adventure. But I just wanted to reach out and let you know, before we get to talking about the devotional, there's some things that you need to be aware of. First of all, if you're in 6th grade or just come out of 5th grade, however you want to put it, you're more than welcome, and we'd love to have you join us for our regular meetings because you're now eligible to be in youth group. That means you can also sign up for kind of the stuff I'm mentioning here after this this message. So we'd love to have you come and join us. As far as Sunday night meetings, for the summer we've been meeting at a local park from 6 to 8 here behind the church, having a lot of fun outside, fellowship, whole lot of hot weather. Hopefully that'll pass soon. But as for tonight, it's July 4th, so we encourage you to celebrate Independence Day with family and friends. So no youth group tonight. If you're watching it after the 4th, then disregard that. So for meeting for the rest of the summer, we will be doing that very same thing. You heard me mention some stuff to sign up for. Well, we're having a zipline adventure July 31st. As far as time and cost and registration, I'm going to put that information out here soon, either on Facebook or email. If you don't receive any of those things or paths of information, please email me so I can get you hooked up, jthomas@lifepointpa.org. And with that, let's get to the lesson. So in our Faith as Adventure series, today we're talking about abundant life. Now, Jesus calls us to abundant life. He actually encourages and offers abundant life. Now, I don't know about you, but I know there are times when, whether it's laziness or fear or whatever, we let fear, the big word today is apathy. Maybe you've heard that word. Maybe you've dealt with that word. Maybe you've dealt with that emotion or that state of being. But sometimes we let this fear or apathy take hold of our lives, whether it's from work, but it certainly affects our faith. I guess is ultimately, I think, what we really need to come to. We should be inspired by Jesus' words and ponder, like, how do we deal with this fear and apathy? And yet, it's still a reality. We let this apathy settle in, and it keeps us from reaching a greater depth of relationship with Jesus. It keeps us from growing. We settle for so little when we could have so much more. And I think that's why we as Christ followers suffer sometimes needlessly, but yet it's still a reality that we need to deal with this apathy that keeps us from reaching that potential that we could have. Now, of course, Jesus offers, abundant life, but he also offers a solution, a path better than what we're dealing with to, I wouldn't call it comfort, but to a place where we can at least deal with this apathy. Now, as I said, part of our lesson comes from, or most of our lesson comes from John chapter 10, verses 1 through 11. It's in this passage, and maybe you've heard of it. It's here that, I guess you could call it a parable. Jesus kind of likens himself to a number of things. But the first thing he mentions is that he is the good shepherd. And as this good shepherd, he talks about the sheep that know him, the sheep that follow him, and how he is the one that protects and cares for his sheep. Now, there's a distinction there because, again, these are the sheep that follow him. These are the sheep that know his voice, as he says in the passage. So there needs to be a connection there to be made to be one of these sheep that follow him. I think you understand what that means. However, Jesus goes on talking about that through this passage. He says kind of two things come from his bond with us. And the first is that if we trust him, if we follow him and say we trust him, the first thing that happens is that he offers us the safer path, at least in the long run, than any other way that we might choose. And the second thing is that it's full of abundant life. Now, that can take on a lot of meaning, but I think more than anything is that we are more free in our person, and we are more free in the life that he has given us enjoy this abundant life if, again, we follow him. So there's an action there that's on us to kind of have to take. Now, it's here again. Jesus is the good shepherd. He's offering us this abundant life. It's here that Jesus then likens himself to a gate. Now, you'll have to read the passage to get the full context. But shepherds of Jesus' time would have led their sheep into a safe walled area with only one entrance. And the shepherd was that entrance. They were the gate to protect their sheep. And Jesus, knowing this, would have used this image as he is the good shepherd. Now he's the gate. And he's the one who, again, shows us shelter. He shows us a place where we can find peace and rest under his care. Now, a gate to this area is pretty narrow. There's only one way in through that gate, and that gate is Jesus. So, as we go through life, as a Christ follower, that path, that journey, it might be a little narrow. And there might be some adventure. There might be some trial on this narrow path. We might not avoid any of those things. But it's this path that leads to abundant life. It's the only path that leads to abundant life. Because only that path has the right and good shepherd to guide us. With that, I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.